my arms, so I would go down really quick.
So we are live on the Facebook, and we are live on Periscope, Ustream, all the stuff. We got a little bit of a bonus deal here. Stephanie Joy is joining us on the old Skype-a-rooney, as they say. Myself and Michael Nagy are going to hang around here and chat here with Stephanie Joy. We were supposed to have her on in our second hour, but the time change and all the shenanigans, and I don't know why we have this damn time change, but it screws everything
Some states
up.
don't. I think Arizona doesn't have it.
My parents live, and my dad works in Nevada, though, so the time thing is, like, horrible, because nothing changes there, but he works in Nevada.
How does that work? Like, it just doesn't change one state, but it changes in every other state?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't get it.
I've always thought about, what if you lived on the edge of the time zone, had to drive across the line to go to work, and then drive home? How would you keep your life normal? Right?
For sure.
It's ridiculous.
Now, Stephanie is going to be part of Exotica coming up at the Denver, Colorado, and she has a dog, which is pretty awesome.
I do, yeah. She wants all my attention right now.
That's
she doesn't
awesome.
like me having the spotlight over her.
That's awesome. And then we have Britannia has made an appearance. So what we'll do is we'll have Britannia get on a microphone, get on a headset, get on a thing, and talk to our buddy Stephanie. She's a give Michael Nagy and myself a little bit of information on you. You are what exactly? You're as if the great Ross Long was here, he would deem you a perv magnet. But besides all that, what are you? Are you considered an adult film star? What's the gimmick here?
What brings you to Exotica?
What brings you to Exotica?
Who are you? I label myself.
Who are you and where do you come from?
I would definitely say sex worker, because I have done mainstream adult work on top of just webcamming. So the typical name that people would say is, oh, she's a webcam girl, but like webcam, mainstream, I've done both. I'm a sex worker.
Sex worker. Look at that. Does your dog know you're a sex worker?
She actually loves it as much as I do. She
That's
wishes
awesome.
she had so she could be better at it.
That's awesome. Well, you know what's great about and I guess I shouldn't put I don't know. I'm gonna put somebody's business out on the air. Go ahead, Nagy.
I was gonna say, do you have a booth set up, or what kind of stuff is at your booth at the Exotica? Are you doing seminars? What are you actually what are you all doing there?
So I actually, every time I go to a con, I only stay at the My Free Cams booth, because mainly what I do is cam stuff. So I'm always at the My Free Cams booth. I'm always broadcasting live.
Cool.
And I was a Twisties Treat in March 2016, but I've never signed at their booth. So usually people will come find me if they've seen me on Twisties. They'll come find me at My Free Cams booth, and I'll just sign autographs there for them.
Cool.
See, this is the thing that I have. It's a weird deal in this whole world of I guess we'll say sex work, since she coined that phrase today. When we went to the Adult Video News Awards, the AVN things in Vegas the very first time, there's all these webcam people. And now you go to like things like Exotica, it's all these webcam people.
Yeah.
It's just webcams. It's
Well,
these.
what got you into it?
What got you into this whole thing? You're from the background there. You've got how to do Skype. You've got a nice background. You've got a nice dog. I don't know if it was head of security. I don't know who it was that was walking by earlier that I saw. It's like you've got this. This life, that table or bench or whatever the hell you got over there in the corner, that's nice. That looks like it came from like.
This is actually my bedroom. I actually don't broadcast anything from my bedroom. I usually do in my living room. Last night I did a show from a whole different side of my living room where I did like a whole pink and blue light thing with like these white drapes, and I did like just this whole elaborate thing. So I have tons of space in my apartment to use whatever corner of it that I want when I work.
Artistic too.
Look at that. What the hell brings you into the world of webcamming?
So this is like my favorite question to answer.
Okay.
Well, I love it because before I ever did webcamming, I actually did an adult film because I saw my parents struggling and I wanted to help them. And I was working 2 jobs and it just like still wasn't enough to cover school, and like I felt bad for my parents. So I did this boy-girl film and like gave my dad the money, told him I had saved it. And 5 months later on my 20th birthday, my whole town found out. And it was just like...
Wow.
So you are essentially the inspiration for that Lifetime movie that I saw when I was at the gym one day, and I was flipping around television, and they had this show on Lifetime where this woman had made this porn film, and then Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
I hope you got royalties for that.
So it was definitely once my parents found out and like everyone found out, it was kind of just like I felt really bad. I felt really like ashamed, and I couldn't really put my finger on why. Like, was I ashamed because I felt bad about what I did, or was I ashamed because I didn't want people to see it and didn't realize people would find it? It was just like a really hard time being like 20 years old and trying to figure out like who I am, and having everyone just be basically shitting on me because of what I did. And so I moved and I just kind of closed myself off from everyone. And my roommate was like, hey, you should start being like a webcam girl. And I was like, that's fake news. Like, that's not real. Like, I'm not going to do that. And he was like, no, it's a real thing. And I was like, well, I'm sorry, I don't believe you. And he was like, okay, then I'll just call my girlfriend over and she'll come right over. And she'll
come right over.
She was like, yeah, sure. And sure enough, this girl shows up about a half hour later, and she's like, yeah, like, I look at my brand new 2016 car I just bought. I paid it in cash. I do this and that. And I was like, I still didn't believe it. And so I signed up, and I watched girls for 2 weeks, and I was like, this is freaking cool. Like, I didn't understand it. Like, I literally started from the bottom. Like, I'm so grateful to be as well ranked as I am now because I had no one to teach me. Even the girl that I met, no one. I just had to watch and figure it out. And I loved it. I fell in love. I've been doing it 3 years now. If I didn't love it, I'm the type of person, if I don't like whatever I'm doing, I won't do it. I love what I do. That's
awesome. So, do you ever see yourself doing any more films, or is it just the webcam stuff now?
I would like to do more professional films. I was really, really, like, taken aback when Twisties contacted me in 2016 to be Treat of the Month, because you really don't get an opportunity like that without an agent. So I took full advantage of that. That was kind of like my comeback from the first bad porn that I did, was like, hey, look at, like, Holly Randall shot me. Her and Dean are, like, the best in the business. And it was just, everything was so beautiful. And I realized, like, quickly after that it's hard in the industry if you have a certain amount of tattoos to just shoot solo and girl work without an agent, or even with an agent sometimes. But so I'm kind of that fine line between, I don't have like, if I had a lot of tattoos, I could be like an Annabelle Peaks or someone like that.
Suicide Girl.
I would cater to that, but because I fall into a certain category where there's a fine line that if I don't do boy-girl, no one really wants me.
We've got Stephanie Joy with us today. She joins us live here on Skype. Michael Nagy in studio, the big star stage and screen, right. Michael Nagy. And then, of course, my good, close, personal, longtime friend, and your good, close, personal, longtime friend, Britannia. Britannia, sitting here listening to Stephanie Joy and you eating your, whatever the hell that is, a slush, I guess. Your lemon lime slush over there. Do you have any questions for Stephanie? Like, just since you're sitting here? Or are you just got a microphone in front of your face for the hell of it.
She's just being entertained.
You're eating a slushie.
We're just entertaining her.
Apparently, we're just entertaining her, and we've got Stephanie. Okay. Well, I'll ask Stephanie a question while you finish your icy. We've got Stephanie Joy now. How's your being a webcam girl and all these things? Your social media. I know you from talking to you on Twitter, but do you do Facebook or Instagram or this Snapchat nonsense? Do you do any of these things?
Yeah. So I actually have my Instagram. I do Instagram lives. Not very often. Only because my Instagram was my personal Instagram, and then Twisties ended up tagging me in it, and it just blew up. So I have I think I have 30,000 followers now on Instagram.
Oh, wow.
So I don't even use my real name on my Instagram. I don't use Stephanie on there either. There's no name, but everyone knows it's me because people back home follow me, but people who come watch my shows follow me. So I didn't want to start a new Instagram since I had already blown it up. So I use that a lot, but Twitter is my main thing. I have a Facebook, but I deactivate it constantly because I've had people from back home come into my chat room and post the link to my Facebook.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you get a lot of stalkers or difficult people?
Oh, my God, how does this work?
It's just, I don't know. After doing it for 3 years, what, am I allowed to curse on here?
Yes, go ahead.
Say whatever the hell you want.
Say whatever the hell you want.
Fuck it.
Fuck it.
I learned after 3 years of doing this.
Hit him with the Bill O'Reilly. Fuck it.
Just
go ahead.
People are going to do stupid shit because they want to see a rise out of you. So the last time something like that happened was just about a few months ago. Someone had came in. They had to have been from my hometown. They knew my first name. They want a reaction, They posted my name, and I was like, yeah, that's my name. Tell anything else you want to say, kind of thing. So a lot of people back home do follow me, and I know they watch my shows. But my Facebook, I try to keep it really on the DL. My last name's on there.
I just find this insane. So you're telling me that while you're doing these things, somebody from your hometown or whatever comes in and goes, "Hey, all you perverts, while you guys are while you guys are diddling yourself to old Stephanie there, her real name is Jocelyn or whatever the hell
people are always jealous of other people.
I don't know. You know what I think what it comes down to is of course, I'm not happy all the time. No one's happy all the time. But I'm really, really happy with what I'm doing. And I'm pursuing my modeling and everything. I love cam. And people back home, they see that, and they don't like that. That makes them mad. Because whatever they might be doing is probably not what they want to be doing. And so they want a reaction out of me, or they just don't like me for whatever reason. I mean,
They probably think you're making a shit ton of money. And they're probably jealous as hell.
Right.
I busted ass for so long until I was 21. I had 3 jobs. Most of the time, 3 jobs. Other than that, I've always had 2 jobs at a time. And it's I have the option now to do something that not only gives me freedom and time to be sick and not have to worry about getting fired, but I'm happy to do it. I wake up every day. I'm online every single day at the same time. Yesterday, I worked 16 hours.
Oh, my.
I'm
not
smokes.
joking. We did an uptime in my room because I didn't believe it. Someone goes, "You've been online for 15 hours." I said, "No, I haven't." We did an uptime in the chat, and it popped up 16 and a half hours. I was like, shut up.
Oh, my God.
As George Mr. Sulu Takai would say, oh, my. We've got Stephanie Joy with us today. She joins us live here on our broadcast, and but before we got Stephanie on, we were finishing up the Sunday radio show, and we had the professional wrestler Xavier K. Damage in studio. And Xavier K. Damage and Michael Nagy decided that he had to have me arm wrestle Xavier K. Damage. And that might become a new thing. We might just, every time we have the pro wrestlers in studio, I'll have to arm wrestle them at the end of the show. And I have my...
Is that why you were so
Get your butt over here now.
I wanted you to come over here to film it because we were going to have you film it, and Nagy was going to do play-by-play.
Okay.
But he did play-by-play and took care of it. And like I said, it didn't last long.
It was entertaining. That was the whole point.
It was entertaining, and that was the whole point. It didn't last long.
And he was a good sport about it.
He was a good sport about it when he beat me. So we got.
I'm not gonna comment on the didn't last long.
We got her talking now.
Yeah, we have her talking now over there. Look at that. She's over there eating her slushie and talking about my I guess my performance, we'll say. It's a hell of a deal. Now,
I love you.
do you do these, Stephanie? Do you do these custom video things that I see a lot of these women do?
So you're asking some really good questions.
Because I'll tell you that this. I'm hoping that you, because we interviewed this chick who's going to be at Exotica, and she does these custom videos, and she's making a shit ton of money on this. Is this something you're doing?
Well, so a lot of guys do request custom videos, and there was like a once upon a time. I have one member in my room. He's really respectful, and he'll tell me like, hey, he actually gave me the idea because I'm not very comfortable doing custom videos. But he would tell me, I'll tip you X amount of tokens if you just want to send me like a 30-second clip later. It doesn't matter what you're doing, like whatever you want to do. And at first I thought that was really fucking weird. I was like, why does this guy want to send me a couple $100 for a 30-second clip of me doing whatever? And then I started
So she did her laundry and sent it to him. No, go ahead.
So I realized, like, because my thing is, I don't want to do anything I'm uncomfortable with. Like, I'm an empowered female, and the second that I do something that makes me uncomfortable, I become less empowered. So I took away custom videos because for me as a personal preference, I wasn't comfortable doing them. So now I offer them as a high tip of the month or a raffle prize in my room. You win a custom video. However, if you win it, you don't get to tell me what I do in it. I do whatever I want in the video and send it to you, and that's yours, and nobody else gets to see it. But I do not let anyone dictate what I do. Like, so if someone hits me up and they're like, oh, I want you to like put this in your ass and do this and that, I'm gonna be like, no. Sorry.
Fantastic. Fantastic. It's Michael Nagy, it's Stephanie Joy on the old Skyper Rooney, Britannia in her slushie, and myself.
You've got a slushie too.
I do have a slushie. I am very excited.
So
about
I have
myself.
a question. So you said you like to be in charge of what you do and stuff. So it doesn't matter how much money you're offered. It's the principle of the matter, right?
Yeah, and you know what? Everybody has a price for something, but
Ted DiBiase. Go ahead.
If
I know who that is, but go ahead.
No, I think that's really cool.
I've done a lot of things in my short lifetime that I was uncomfortable doing.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
I felt like I didn't have like any other choice at certain points in my life, and so I compromised my comfortability for an amount of money or situation. And Cam is where I can literally be whoever I want, be myself, which is the best thing. Do whatever I want. So
yeah, that's cool.
We've got Stephanie Joy joining us today here in our big program, and she is going to be she's promoting Exotica. She's going to be at Exotica Denver. Myself, Mr. Michael Nagy, and Britannia will be there. Apparently, Tone Cruz is going to be there as well. So hopefully we will be. I don't know. We'll send Tone Cruz over to harass Stephanie while she's there. But and so you're gonna be at this. You're gonna be at the booths. While we are there, we are definitely gonna have to do. Hell, maybe we'll have Stephanie arm wrestle me at
we
the
could do that.
Yeah. Challenge accepted.
We'll have Stephanie arm wrestle me at the event. Well, see, what we used to do when we would have when we first started doing this show, the only people that knew how to use Skype were people in the adult film industry. That's it.
Yeah.
And so we had a lot of porn people. And so now, what we used to do with the porn people was we were like, well, maybe at the end of every interview, I would always ask them to flash us. And so that got to be a thing with the porn people. And so now we've got this thing with the pro wrestlers, where every time they come in the studio, they've got to arm wrestle me.
Right.
So...
and we started doing photos with all of our studio guests.
And then we started doing photos with our studio guests, where at the end of every show, we took a photo with the studio guest. And then Nagy had to Photoshop himself in, because he would always take the photo, and then he would Photoshop himself in.
Yeah.
And then one time, I cut off his feet when I took the photo.
Photoshop feet in.
He Photoshopped feet in.
Oh, my God.
And so then...
I can do anything with Photoshop. Take people in and out of photos.
Then a couple weeks ago... we had this chicken show up out of nowhere and started hanging out front of the apartment building.
A chicken?
So we Photoshopped the chicken into one of the photos.
Yeah, if you go on our page, you can see all of our weekly photos, and some of them are pretty outrageous.
So...
That's amazing. I don't even know how to work Photoshop. That's amazing.
We have...
And then the one time we all did a group photo, and I literally took different people and changed their position in the photo. And people were like, I wasn't standing there.
That's awesome. Now, Stephanie, you have got... You are actually... one of these... and I like this about you, that you are an empowered... webcam person. You're not, I think that's awesome that, somebody sends you a thing, they're like, well, I want you to do this, blah, blah, honey. And you're like, why don't I do this?
I usually get these proposals while I'm, broadcasting live, and my favorite thing to do is to, read them out loud to my friends in my room, because they're just... out of this world. Like, this guy wrote me yesterday. I was like, oh, guys, we have a message, and read out loud.
We have a message.
It's got to be like a comedy show.
No, it's definitely, they love it. And I was like, oh, let's see what this is all about. Like, I spelled, every single word wrong, and it basically just said, would you watch me jerk off for 4 minutes on Skype for $10 via Google Wallet? You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is sit and watch, please. And I was like, okay, dude.
No. So essentially, she's kind of like she's the sex worker equivalent of Casey Neistat with mail time. Casey Neistat always opens all of his mail on YouTube, and he's like, look what I got today.
It's entertaining because people say the craziest shit, and I'm banned from Tinder. I got banned from Tinder.
Yes.
We used to play this game.
Jiggy knows all about being banned from stuff.
I'm surprised we're not banned from Exotica. Go ahead.
I would just match with everyone and be like, and it wasn't even, I don't start the shit talking. I let it come in first, because some of these guys just say the most insane shit, and I would be like, oh, guys, check this message out, and I'd be like, if someone gives me 100 tokens, I'll say X, Y, and Z back, and I would let me say stuff back, and I got reported enough times.
Well, let's hear one of the most ridiculous ones that you can remember.
Yes.
Oh my lord.
Just give us a sample of what you deal with.
Oh my god, it's just. And that's why I'm so pissed that they banned me on Tinder, because I can't even log in and read my messages.
You can't even log into Tinder.
I had this guy, I matched with this guy, and he was I don't know, in his 60s.
What?
This is when I was LA. Yeah. And I was live on cam. I think I was drunk, and I matched with him, and I was like, oh my god, you guys, I matched with this dude. His number said 60, 61, something. And somebody in my chat room was like, I'll tip you to say dad, ? And I was like, done, deal. So I wrote him first. I said, Dad, and he really thought that I was just super into my dad. He was convinced that I had something with my dad. And he was just, I can't remember exactly what he said, but he was just because he was like, oh, do you like to play tennis? And I was like, only with my dad. And he was like, well, if you ever want to join me, but I would prefer if you would come without your dad. And I'm like, dude, do you really think? They just don't even know what to say to me, and I love being sarcastic, and a lot of the people on Tinder, they couldn't handle it. They'd shoot me a cheesy pickup line. I'd shoot them back some fire. And I had a guy write me back one time and just be like, wow, you're a bitch. And I was like, no.
Wow, you're a bitch.
I was like, that escalated really quickly. I thought that we were, like, going to fuck with each other. Like, I thought this was going to be fun for us. But, like, you can throw the flame, but you can't handle the fire, like, the heat of the fire.
Fantastic. So she is... So instead of, you know, Nagy, here's the thing. She gets into these, she does these webcam shows, and then she starts having her audience basically they serve as the enabler, right. And she goes out and she is essentially the first ever sex worker troll. She goes out and she trolls these people.
I'm a troll, yeah.
She goes out and trolls these people on the internet. She essentially is Donald Trump without the presidency. That's essentially what it is. Because she goes out.
I'm always screaming fake news in my chat room too.
Right.
That is awesome. You are pretty amazing. We definitely are going to have you as one of our regulars because this has definitely been fun. We are going to have you on more because we have been meeting.
We're always looking to hear some crazy stories. So.
Yeah, I've got a book full of them.
We try on this show to try to have as many different regular guests as humanly possible, and I think just because of today, I think you're going to become one of our regulars just because you are fun. And Stephanie Joy with us today. She joins us live here on the old magic of Skype, and Michael Nagy with us as well, the big star shades and screen Michael Nagy, as I like to call him. Last night we were out at the we were at a house party, a house concert, I guess you would say, and the police showed up, and and the concert ended early, and then some drunk guy crashed his car, and then he reported it stolen, and the and the police then returned.
They were like, this story doesn't match up.
So, and then of course I arm wrestled one of our professional wrestlers today, and now we are talking to the famous Stephanie Joy. So
can't forget about Mechanism.
Oh, and Mechanism. We talked to a band called Mechanism, and they were like an industrial goth screaming, band. So it's been a fun one today. Stephanie Joy with us today here on the old Skype-a-rooney, and so tell me a little bit about the whole process of how you got, you did the porn thing, and then you got into the webcam thing. Did you just go get on a webcam site and just sign up, or do you have multiple accounts, or how does this all work for you?
I just signed up after my roommate's friend, this girl, just told me, she was like, it's not fake, like, it's real, like, this is how I pay my bills, like, this is how I bought my car, like, and I needed a job so bad that I was like, well, I'll check it out. Like, my thing is, I was like, I just need to make $5,000, buy a new car, and, like, to get myself to school. That was the plan. I was like, all right, it might take me a couple years to make $5,000, but you know what? We'll figure it out. So I signed up, and I watched girls for like 2 weeks, and I don't even remember my first broadcasting day. I was so high. I smoked so much weed. I was so scared. And
yes.
I didn't even smoke weed then. Like, I only smoked weed like twice in my life. I like went out, bought a bong, bought some weed, and was like scared to death. And my first paycheck from after 3 days said it was like $700, and I said, this is not real money, and it hit my bank account, and I was like, okay, well, if I can do that in 3 days and like people like me right off the bat, maybe I can figure this thing out. And so what I always do is I continue to watch girls from the moment I wake up. I don't own a television. Anything that's going on as background noise, I'm usually guessing a model that I really enjoy watching, not to like rip off her shows or take her members like some girls might do. I like to listen to these girls and listen to what they talk about and like what they bring to the table, what they bring to their room, and it kind of gives me inspiration, and I play off of some of their ideas onto some of my own, and it works for me. I love the members in my room. People call them members, but I call them my friends because that's what they are.
So is there a lot of competition with this webcam stuff? Like, there must be a ton of girls doing it, or is there...
Yeah, I mean, on the site that I'm on, we get a rank. I think I'm number 27 right now.
Wow.
I just got my...
Out of how many?
Yeah, on the website registered, there are 30,000 girls registered.
Wow. And
So,
you're 26
like,
out of
yeah,
30,000?
Going for like a top rank. It's very competitive, and that's why I don't broadcast for a specific type of rank. Like, I would love to get top 20 this month, but I don't like broadcasting because so many girls want that top 20 spot, and so many girls work so hard for it. It is a competition, and I refuse to make it petty. I'm not a petty person. I want everyone to do well. So when I see other girls passing me, I don't get upset. I'm like, hell yeah, they just got bombed. Like, good for them.
Right. That's cool.
That is pretty damn cool. It is Stephanie Joy. She's with us today here on the old magic of Skype audio, and or Skype video. And Stephanie is pretty amazing. She has put together a heck of a track record here, Michael. Good Lord,
I would say so.
She is doing it big, as they say. And so, when you do these shows, is it just you, or do you have like dudes there with you, or other chicks? How does this whole thing work?
So I mostly just broadcast live solo, but I do work with other girls. Like, my friend Kenzie was just out here, I don't know, like a week and a half ago or something, to help me out with rank, and like, she's pretty much the same person as me, except funnier. And I mean, the guys just had so much fun. They literally tipped us to go out and troll people at the bar. So I like to work with girls, like my close friends, like that. Could you imagine being an online entertainer and having your best friend with you? So not only are you doing your counts and your shows, but you're having fun, they're having fun. It's just a good time, you know what I mean? So I like working with girls that I know, and we work well together. But as far as guys go, no, I just made some boy-girl content back in October, a couple videos on my own with one of my cam guy friends, Leo West. But I'm no longer making boy-girl content, so I don't do like boy-girl shows or anything. So
how do you so you're just doing your thing. You're having a good time. You're making bank on this thing. So when you're out there in Denver for Exotica, you're just gonna be signing autographs, making appearances. That's just it. You're just gonna be there doing your thing.
I have one of my really good friends, one of the members. He's coming to see me, and he knew me before, like when I was in Chicago last year. Like, he knew who I was, and he was at the con, but he had never said hi to me in my room, so he didn't come over and introduce himself. So we've been kind of waiting to meet each other for like 10 months now. So he'll be coming out, so that's really cool. And then one of my other friends that lives here, I actually was late on the time too because I was having lunch with him. He will be here hanging around to see me, and then a couple other people are coming to meet me for the first time. So I don't know, I really like the cons because it gives me a chance to kind of spend that one-on-one time face-to-face with the people who make me smile and I laugh with. I know them, you know, all day. What do? I did 16 hours yesterday. Mm-hmm. These people will get more of me than anyone else in my life, and I give them more of me than I give to anyone else in my life as well. So what better feeling than to have those people that you talk to every day, you finally get to meet or see again in person.
We look forward to meeting you.
Yes, we do. Yeah. We do look forward to chatting with you and seeing you out there at the event. And I appreciate you making time for us today. Do you have any more questions before we go, Michael, or are you good?
I think I'm all right. I mean, I think she told us pretty much.
She's pretty much told us everything that we need to know, and it's going to be entertaining. I will be in touch with you on Twitter, and we will make some stuff happen and get things set up for Denver. Thank you for chatting with us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'll see you guys.
Definitely. There goes Stephanie Joy, and there we go. And thanks for hanging around, Michael, so we finally get this done.
Yeah, right.
And that is that. And let's see. We got Ustream, Periscope. Oh, on the Facebook. I don't know why I do that with the Johnny thing, but I do.
Now it's time to head out and play some poker.
Yes, you're going to go play poker.